Bolinda and HarperAudio Australia present this unabridged recording of Outspoken, My Fight for Freedom and Human Rights in Afghanistan, written by Dr. Sima Samar with Sally Armstrong. Read by Wajma Soroor, with prologue read by Sally Armstrong. To the people who lost their lives and whose graves remain unmarked as a result of 45 years of war in Afghanistan. To the women of my country who live under a regime of gender apartheid. To all those who suffer from patriarchy and gender-based violence worldwide.
Prologue. It began as a quest and turned into an odyssey. The Taliban had taken over Afghanistan in late September 1996 and forbidden education for girls and working outside the home for women, basically putting women and girls under house arrest. During that time, I was the editor-in-chief of the Canadian magazine Homemakers, and we covered many important issues of the day. I heard about a woman who was defying the Taliban edicts, keeping her schools for girls open and her medical clinics for women running. I wanted to interview her for a story I was writing about this incomprehensible return to the Dark Ages. But first, I had to find her. My quest included dozens of phone calls and scouring the news for the name of this woman. At last, I talked to human rights expert Farida Shahid in Lahore, Pakistan, who said, "Come over here and we'll discuss this." Despite an editorial budget seriously strained by the cost of a flight, I left immediately. I met Shahid at her office, where women were being educated about the duplicity of their religious political leaders. Shahid was a fountain of information, teaching me the ABCs of militant fundamentalism. But then she told me, "I can't give you the name of the woman you seek. She's in danger of being killed." At about 5 p.m., when I was despairing my decision to fly across the world, Shahid said, "There's a flight to Quetta tomorrow at 9 a.m. You should be on it. Someone will meet you in the arrivals lounge." It was an easy flight to this city about 700 kilometers west of Lahore. By the time the plane landed, my curiosity was thoroughly piqued. When I walked into the arrivals lounge, a woman approached me, smiling. She extended her hand and said, "You must be Sally. I'm Sima Samar. I believe you've been looking for me." And that's when the odyssey began. For the next week, I followed Sima around the hospitals and schools she was operating for women and girls. I discovered that she is the quintessential Afghan woman. She's strong, she adores her country, and she's had to fight for everything she's ever had. Sima Samar was only 12 years old when she learned the meaning of the words author Rohinton Mistry would later write, that life was poised as a fine balance between hope and despair. At that tender age, she began to fight to alter the status of women and girls in her country. She fought the traditional rules for girls in her own family. She fought the Soviets, the Mujahideen, the Taliban. She fought every step of the way to get an education and become a physician, to open her hospitals and schools for girls, and to raise her children according to her own values. The article I wrote resulted in more than 12,000 letters to the editor from women demanding action for the women and girls of Afghanistan. Some of the letter writers started Canadian Women for Women in Afghanistan, and similar associations sprang up around the world. They all asked Sima to come and speak. After 9/11 and the subsequent defeat of the Taliban, U.S. President George W. Bush invited her to the State of the Union address in 2002 and introduced her as the face of the future of Afghanistan. At every podium in Europe, in Asia, in North America.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?